May the Force be with all of you. It's time to talk about Star Wars! What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Welcome to the start of my new review series leading up to a new release. Since Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, comes to us in December, I figured it would be the perfect time for me to review episodes 1 through 7 of the Star Wars movies leading up to it. And I'm going to go through numerical order, 1 through 7. That's, of course, starting with the prequels. And today I am reviewing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Directed by the one and only George Lucas, starring Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Jake Lloyd, Natalie Portman, and Samuel L. Jackson. I'm going to be reviewing a Star Wars movie each month leading up to it, excluding the Clone Wars. That's not in this series, just the episodes. So all these reviews are going to be spoiler-filled, which I'm sure you guys already know that. If you've not seen Star Wars in general, what the hell are you doing? This is the best movie franchise of all time, in my opinion. Go watch the Star Wars movies and come back here. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is the first episode of the prequel trilogy. This came out in 1999, and George Lucas directed basically all these movies. And in The Phantom Menace, you have two Jedi Knights, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. They're summoned by Chancellor Valorum of the Republic to search for Queen Amidala, which the Trade Federation is searching for her to sign this peace treaty to end Naboo, the planet, and basically destroy it. So they have to protect Queen Amidala from this from happening. They can't sign that treaty. And along this journey, they find this Gungan-looking creature, Jar Jar Binks, as well as young Anakin Skywalker. And they all go on a journey to Naboo and basically battle the Trade Federation in The Phantom Menace. Now, I was 4 years old when The Phantom Menace came out. I was born in 1995. I'm 21 years old. And when I first saw The Phantom Menace, I enjoyed it. I mean, I was into Star Wars when I was a kid. I played the Lego Star Wars games. I did have a lot of the action figures growing up, like Luke Skywalker. But honestly, I was more into the original trilogy. And with the 18 years that this movie's been released, I've been thinking about this movie and watching it over and over, and I have liked it less and less and less every time I've watched it. And my opinion's still the same. The Phantom Menace is just a not good movie. But I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as Attack of the Clones. There's just a lot of parts in this movie that are really cringeworthy to watch. So, let's talk about the positives first. I first want to talk about Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. These two characters are fine. I like what they do in this movie. I think they have some good banters back and forth. Yeah, they're really dull in this movie. I just really like them in the lightsaber duels, like the opening scene when they're at the Trade Federation, that whole entire space station, taking out all those droids at the beginning. This movie does have a good sense of, awareness. These two characters, they're the center, and it's kind of cool to see them interact with each other. Another character I liked in this movie was Darth Maul, of course. I love Darth Maul. He's one of my favorite Star Wars villains, played by Ray Park, who also played Toad in X-Men. He's a really cool villain. I really like him. He's kind of like the plot device villain. The Emperor orders him to go there, to Tatooine, and then to battle against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And I really like seeing him, kind of being that enemy that just goes where he's told, and he had some really cool action scenes. Which brings me to the action. The action in this movie's pretty fun. It's not terrible, especially the final lightsaber duel, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon. I like how it's choreographed. Yeah, it's very CGI heavy, but I can kind of forgive it. It's kind of cool watching these guys do all kinds of flips and do different stunts. That aspect of the Phantom Menace, I think it's my favorite scene in the film, the last lightsaber duel. Also, just the overall setting of the movie, it looked pretty nice. I mean, Tatooine, the iconic scene, the bright colors, it looked really nice. And the pod racing scene, which is pretty okay to watch. It's very, very dated. I understand that. But I always like watching the pod races, especially playing it on the video game. That aspect right there doesn't really bore me. And now, let's jump right into the negatives, because there's a good amount to talk about. The biggest issue, of course, I have with The Phantom Menace is the other characters. They are terrible. Starting with the one I make fun of all the time, Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, I guess you guys are sick and tired of people hating on Jar Jar Binks. Some people find him funny. People like me think he's really annoying. But in this movie, he is just so annoying. Like, George Lucas just has so much fascination of this character. It's just like, what about this thing is entertaining? One scene, Qui-Gon's just like, go no elsewhere, your intelligence is up. It's like, no, Mr. Jar Jar Binks, a Gunkin, the girl. Well, wow, Anakin. Yes, Jar Jar is obviously the biggest flaw, and the other characters, of course, Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, and Natalie Portman as Padme Amidala. This is the start of the romance, which is, I think, the worst romantic chemistry I've seen in film history. Young Jake Lloyd is just terrible. Are you an angel? I'm Anakin Skywalker, and I want to be the best pilot in the galaxy. Yeah, I like to go pod racing. I want to bring C-3PO. Can I be a Jedi? Really? And I'm not done yet. There's so many moments of dialogue in this movie. It's like a 12-year-old wrote the script to the movie. Like, you see those two Trade Federation officers at the beginning. They're just talking back and forth. These two are Jedi. What are they even doing? Oh, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. What do we even do? I don't want to trade with Padme Amidala. And there's so many oh my god moments throughout this entire film that just make you question, like, why George Lucas was thinking about this. I think he's better than that. And some people like it, but it's just like, what are you even doing? The pacing in this movie, oh my goodness. The pacing in this movie is so draggy. So many scenes. I would say about 85% of this movie is nothing but Senate meetings, sit-down discussions, people walking and talking, people sitting down and talking, one person standing and sitting and talking. The Jedi Council, when we first see them, you see Yoda, Mace Windu, and all these other characters where one person stands in the middle and they're sitting down on their asses, just talking. I can't stand scenes like this. I mean, if it's a better script, I can get into it with better dialogue, but here, nothing at all. Everyone just looks bland, and everyone looks like they didn't even want to be there. And it's Star Wars. Now I have to talk about George Lucas. I'm only going to talk about him once during the prequel trilogy. Here, he just seemed like he really didn't want to tell much of an in-depth story. Instead, he had a lot to tell. I mean, this is Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. They didn't even focus on him. There's not even one protagonist in this movie. Everyone plays a supporting character. There's not one person in this movie that you can root for. It's just like, come on, we need a hero, George Lucas. And the entire ending doesn't even make any sense. Qui-Gon Jinn dies. Yes, spoilers. I mean, there's nothing emotional about it. You just get through it. Like, Qui-Gon's just like this guy, Jedi Knight, no character development. Like, we're supposed to care about him? And then everybody dances and celebrates and cheers. It's like, that's the end of every Star Wars movie. In the originals, I get into it because I care about the characters. And here, you don't give a shit. In the end, guys, you guys know what I think of The Phantom Menace. This movie, it's not a good movie, but I didn't hate it. There were some scenes I really enjoyed, like the lightsaber duels, Darth Maul. Just the character interactions weren't that terrible. Just the script, the dialogue, George Lucas's vision, the CGI so dated. Everything makes The Phantom Menace such a disappointment compared to the original trilogy. Overall, you either like it or you absolutely hate it. So with all those reasons, I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, A 2.5 out of 5 stars. Just right in the middle of the 2s, not the 1s. It's not that bad. Just some things I wish they would have improved. Alright guys, that was my spoiler-filled review for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. What did you guys think of my review? Did you guys like this movie? Think it was okay or absolutely hate this movie? Let me know down below in the comments. First episode is done. Next month in July is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Help me. Thank you guys as always for watching this review, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Be sure to click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!